second, here we go. Winding it up. Right. That's 150, 160, 170, 180, 200, 220. I've been lucky enough to drive every variation of the Audi R8 since it launched here back in 2007. From the original gated manual V8 with just over 400 brake horsepower to the predecessor of this model, the R8 V10 Plus. I promised myself the next time I had an R8 I would escape our constant average speed limits and poor quality UK roads and find somewhere to unleash its full potential. When I got my hands on this one, the brand new R8 V10 Performance, I decided to pack a bag, pick up a friend and take the car to a place of driving heaven, Germany and the legendary Autobahn. Right, this is the day before our high-speed run. We're in Germany, beautiful weather. Got to do a couple of things before a high-speed run. One of them is obviously make sure you've got plenty of fuel in the tank, and out here in Germany you can get 102 octane fuel. We hope that the Super Plus is 102. I'm going to go and check the tyre pressures, etc., and just have a quick walk around, make sure everything looks okay, because 200 miles an hour is a hell of a speed, and obviously if there is anything wrong with some of the tyres or anything on the car, it could go horrifically wrong. I think that's topped up and ready to go. Alright then guys, we have filled up fuel and we're pretty much ready for tomorrow morning and the Autobahn. But seeing as we're in such a beautiful part of Germany, it would be rude not to take the R8 out for a quick spin around these incredible twisty roads. Look at this for a bit of tarmac. Wow. Let's talk a bit about the car. This is the brand new facelifted Audi R8. It's based on the second generation car. And in the UK, there are 3 coupe models at time of launch. There's the base model, which is the R8 V10, and that has 570 PS. Retails at £121,000 on the road. There's then the middle of the range, the R8 V10 Performance, that's £141,000 on the road, and that has 620 PS. And then there's this one, the range topper, with a very long name, the R8 V10 Performance Carbon Edition. Now this retails at £154,000 on the road, except this being a UK press car retails at £170,000 on the road. So it has a number of options on top of the already fully loaded Carbon Edition. Let's focus on the changes between the previous R8 and this one, because there's not too many, to be fair. There's a fair few visual changes on the outside, especially the front end. The nose looks very different, completely redesigned. There's a fair few fake vents that I'm not a massive fan of, especially the ones behind me on the shoulders that I can see every time I look in either wing mirror. But otherwise, I think they've really nailed it with the styling. I think when does an R8 look bad? I've always loved the look of the R8, and I think this one just looks bang up to date, really does. Super clean, super tidy, and in this colour, yeah, it looks awesome. There have been some suspension updates. They've changed some of the components, so the suspension's actually lighter, especially on the front end, which is all unsprung weight, so therefore the handling is a bit sharper, feels a bit more accurate, and it really does, like, you can feel it. It's transformed what was already a very good car. The front end feels a lot more positive, a lot more predictable. I think a lot of that might have to do with the fact that they've got rid of the P0s and they're now running the fantastic Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, which are my favourite summer tyre that deals with rain, and you know, they're just brilliant. They are the tyre that pretty much does everything except for real wintry and snow conditions. I'm in the performance mode now, which basically loosens everything up, gives you really good throttle response, just feels great. Gearbox is mega. Talking of the gearbox, that's another big change. For some of you that have watched my previous R8 V10 Plus, as it used to be called, review, one of a couple complaints of that car was that the gearing was too short for motorway driving. Now, we've just driven this down all the way from England today, and I can report that 7th gear is nice and long. So 7th gear in the old car, you'd be doing about 2,700 RPM at 70 miles an hour. In this one, you're doing about 2,100, which makes a huge difference. It means the car feels settled and relaxed, and when you put it in comfort and close the exhaust valves, it's just a lovely everyday cruiser. So the gearbox calibration, the gearbox final drive, I don't know what they've changed, but it's made a big difference. And it's a lot better on longer journeys and a lot less thirsty. We averaged 22 mpg on the way down here. I know that's I know that's hardly green or hardly amazing, but for the R8 V10, it really is a feat. With a car that has over 610 brake horsepower, I think 22 on the combined in real life is really not bad at all. I've just turned around. I've had to come back down this road because it's just to die for. What a piece of tarmac. What an amazing place. What a beautiful day. What an incredible car. It's all lining up pretty well today. In terms of interior updates, as far as I can see, it's exactly the same in here, which isn't a bad thing because it's pretty much perfect. It is maybe beginning to show its age a little bit, especially compared to some of the very latest Audis, the A6, A7, A8, the Q8 with this new kind of slab interior design. But I really like this. I've got the virtual cockpit in front of me. I've got everything I need. Lovely steering wheel. Paddles feel a bit cheap, but they're not as bad as the ones on last year's RWS, which came straight out of a Golf GTI. Everything else in here is fine. These do come standard, so the Performance and the Performance Carbon Edition do come standard with the brand new Audi bucket seats. But unfortunately, this particular press car hasn't got them on, and the reason it's got the older sport seats, which is still very good, is because someone ticked the Isofix option or the electric seat option, which resorts back to the older sport seats. I really need to try a car with those seats because that's probably my only complaint about this car for me now, is the driving position's still not perfect. I'm not sitting low enough and the seats don't quite fit me. But if you're 6 foot, 6'1" or below, I mean, this car is just absolutely incredible. It really, really is impressive. Final final things to talk about really are the sound. This is obviously the very latest 2019 car, so it has to comply with all these horrible emission standards that we're getting in Europe. So this has an OPF filter somewhere back there, and at first I didn't really notice that it was a bit quieter because these things are just outrageously loud anyway, but you don't get the cracks and pops as I'm changing down, whereas in the old car you would get lots and cracks and pops as you're slowing down. And yes, it feels like it's lost a little bit of that character, but I mean, listen to that. That's only 5,600. And this engine never fails to surprise me. Does this car feel any quicker than the old one? Not really. I mean, it's what, an extra 10 horsepower on the 2018 model, but you just forget how much power there is at the top of the rev range. There's no torque really at all. We'll drop down into 5th gear here and we're doing 1500 RPM. It picks up, but it's pretty laggy and has nothing like the pickup of a modern turbocharged engine. But otherwise, what a car. And these tyres, the Michelins, they make a huge difference to me. They really do. The front end's really positive. These don't really suffer from Audi steer too much, but with the Michelins, they just feel like they've got a lot more bite on the turn-in. The initial turn-in just feels more positive. Not massive amount of steering feel, but enough. And you can feel the car rotating slightly on corner exit, especially in performance mode or when you turn everything off. Which one would I have? Well, I think I'd save 13 grand and I'd buy the normal performance model because it doesn't lose any of the performance of this one. It just has a lot less carbon on it. It costs £13,000 less. I don't think it has magnetic ride, but you could option that. I mean, what a car. What a car. I better head back to the hotel because I've got an early start tomorrow. I need to have my wits about me for the Autobahn. I'm just loving this car though, it's just fantastic. Right, I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, guys. It is very early on Easter Sunday in Germany. It's this day on purpose. I've come down here because I figured it would be about the quietest morning I could choose to try and do a VMAX run on the German Autobahn. Although these roads are de-restricted, you want to be as safe as possible and you don't want to take any unwanted or unneeded risks. I've never been 200 miles an hour before driving. I've been a passenger once. I've driven Tim's AMG GTR up to about 190 miles an hour, and I've driven an Alpina B7 up to about 190 miles an hour, but nothing beyond that. And I really want to get to the magic 200 miles an hour. I'm using kilometers today, and the magic number we need is 322. I'm just doing one sighting lap, just making sure everything's fine. We're going to take it up to maybe 250 or so, and then we'll turn around and come back for the magic 200 miles an hour before the traffic gets too much. So let's just drop it down a couple of gears. So we're doing 180 at the moment. We're in 5th gear, pulling very hard now. That's 210, 220, 230. 240, 250, 260, that's 270, that's at 200 miles an hour. We'll turn around at the next junction and come back this way because I don't want the sun in my eyes. Although it's lovely and quiet and I can see well, I want the sun behind me, so I've got a lovely vision of sight. So 315, I'm guessing, is about 196 miles an hour. And it did it with no worries whatsoever. Okay guys, this is it. This is the 200 plus mile an hour run. I'm in performance mode, manual. Second, here we go. Winding it up. Right. That's 150, 160, 170, 180, 200, 220, 250. We're just going to get around this corner. It's a bit of a bend. Drop down to fifth again. We're at 240, just going to get around this Astra. Right, now foot on the floor, here we go. 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300, 310. I think there's a bit more of a headwind down this way. 320, 322, 330, 335, 336, 337, 338, 339, 340. 341, and I'm slowing down into this corner. Wow! Wow! Woo! Now I feel like I'm standing still and I'm doing 230 still. I think I saw 341. Could have been 342. Either way, that's even with sort of the mismatch of the speedo not being fully accurate. That was definitely well over 200 miles an hour. Oh, that was fun. Wow. Oh, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible. What a car. The wind noise, the wind pressure, but the car felt so strong, so steady. Incredible, absolutely incredible. I hope you enjoyed this video. A massive thanks and shout out to Patrick, Becoming Patrick on Instagram, for helping me with all the filming and the logistics. So thanks a lot, buddy. And the editing.
Cheers for the India though, mate.
No worries, buddy. Also, huge thanks to Oliver and the AC Schnitzer crew. As you're probably just about to find out, we use one of their cars as the tracking car. So thanks a lot, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Germany. Long live the Autobahn. My 24 hours are almost up. So I'm going to head to the Eurostar. Thanks, guys.